Okay, I'd like to start the meeting of the Greenwood Advisory Plan Commission for Monday, October 14th, 2024. And as I am at a remote location and the rules state that I need to be present to run the meeting, I'm going to make a motion that Josh King is the vice president, conduct the meeting from the chambers in the live location.
Okay. So motion by Mr. Shell and second by Mr. Walker. With a member participating virtually, we have to do a roll call vote. Mr. Price? Mr. Walker?
Aye.
Mr. Milborn?
Aye.
Mr. Probst?
Aye.
Mr. Lexi?
Aye.
Ms. Stambaugh?
Aye.
Mr. St. John?
Aye.
Mr. Shell?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Motion carries 9-0. Next order of business is approval of minutes from the September 23rd, 2024 meeting.
I move to approve.
A motion by Mr. Lexi and second by Mr. Price. Roll call vote. Mr. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Walker?
Aye.
Mr. Milborn?
Aye.
Mr. Probst?
Aye.
Mr. Lexi?
Aye.
Ms. Stambaugh?
Aye.
Mr. St. John?
Aye.
Mr. Shell?
Aye.
And I am an aye. Motion carries 9-0. Next up, any special requests or continuances?
I do have I guess it is a continuance. There's not an official date for it, but the common council did.
I would interrupt you. Mr. Walker has a conflict of interest on these matters, so he is now going to leave the chambers and he will not be present or participate in any matters that regard the Walker Farms matter.
Thank you, Shauna. This is for the comprehensive plan. I had in our agenda pending common council written statement of reasons. The common council did make a few amendments to the comprehensive plan, which they need to provide a written statement forward that to the plan commission. I received something today, but not with enough time to have it prepared for plan commission. So I will be moving that item to October 28th. That is when we will discuss the comprehensive plan common council amendment. When I do forward that along to you, I will also provide with you some explanation on your next steps in the process. So for anyone who is here for the comprehensive plan common council amendment, it is not ready for tonight's meeting.
It's not ready.
No, you will not be acting on it. It's not an agenda item. We just gave a status.
28th, so our next meeting. All right, findings of fact, none. Old business.
Sorry, I was gonna request a continuance.
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Leo Verratti with Apollo Developers would like to request a continuance for PC 2024-035 and PC 2024-036. Requesting a continuance to the November meeting, which I believe got moved to the 13th. Do you have it?
I think that's right. Yeah, because they wanted this Veterans Day. Gabe, are we able to?
Yeah, there would be room on the agenda.
Okay. What's the reasoning?
So we received comments on the last round that we were not able to completely address. And I know there's a 10-day review period that the outside engineer uses to review the drawings, so we weren't able to get that turned around.
Anyone have anything for that? If not, I can entertain a motion.
This is the second or third time you requested a continuance.
This is the second time.
There's not a limit if there is good cause, but that is your judgment whether you think that there's good cause.
I moved ahead to move this two projects to the November 13th meeting.
And now 11th is a city holiday, so
Oh,
Wednesday, the next meeting's Wednesday, November 13th due to the Veterans Day.
Yeah, that's your first meeting in November.
second.
So we have a motion by Mr. Probst, second by Mr. Milborn to continue both PC 2024-035 and PC 2024-036 to the Wednesday, November 13th meeting. Proceed to a roll call vote. Mr. Price,
Aye.
Mr. Milborn,
Aye.
Mr. Probst,
Aye.
Mr. Lexi,
Aye.
Ms. Stanball,
Aye.
Mr. St. John,
Aye.
Mr. Shell,
Aye.
and I am an aye. That motion carries 8-0, so it is continued. Any other special requests or continuances? Seeing none, the two items under old business were just continued. That's the Walker Commons North and Walker Commons Southeast primary plats. Those will be heard on Wednesday, November 13th at 7 p.m. in this chamber. Any old business from the floor? Seeing none. Under new business, docket number PC 2024-047, Walker Commons Southwest waiver request. Mr. Karate, I have you as the petitioner for that.
Good evening, Eric Prime, Van Baylor Law Firm, 225 South Emerson, on behalf of the petitioner Apollo Developers. I was here before you a few weeks ago on a very similar request in a different part of the development. On that evening, we were talking about the southeast portion of the development, and there were two stub streets that went in there and were requested as part of the approval process by council to not connect there. This board granted those two waivers at that time for those part of those two connections, and now we are into. Second, let me cue this up. Maybe if not, I'm going to get Mr. Shell to come help me figure it out.
IT may need to.
Yeah, this was,
IT, could you help pull up the presentation?
yeah, I'm not seeing the icon anymore. All I see is the Zoom meeting. Perfect. Great.
And IT, could you share this PowerPoint with the virtual members? I thank you, I appreciate that.
Good. I have an old-fashioned paper copy if you would allow to share.
I'll see if I can work some magic.
Well, I mean,
So I just. Yes, a request has been sent. Should be, you want a PowerPoint mode?
Yeah, please.
Should be able to tap. IT, do we have the keyboard?
Oh, my God.
Yes, you should. I use the side by side.
Yes. Okay, that sounds, no problem. All right, so this evening, rather than that southeast parcel, we're talking about the southwest parcel that abuts Main Street and comes south from there. There are two connections in that area, but only one of them was required to be not connected. So I'll zoom in there. These arrows show you the two connecting areas. It's the top one that we're concerned about, which is Faith Street. There is a connection currently, as you can see. There's a private home on a larger lot that has a private driveway coming off of Faith Street that curves 90 degrees and goes straight south into that property. So that would remain, but our connection or our non-connection would come over and have the bollards come up right kind of by the edge of that driveway. So that gentleman, that family can still get in and out from their house. You can't block that off, obviously. But we would bring the connection over and stop it with the bollards and the signage right there, as we already were planning to do with the two pieces on the southeast side. Let me go back, make sure, is everybody oriented okay with that? You know where I'm talking about? Anybody have any questions before I jump to the statutory criteria? And the explanation for this is it's the exact same situation as we had with the other two. This is the third of the three that were required to not connect. So we need a waiver from this board in order to move forward with the plat. I thank the council for that. And so the statutory criteria, as you sort of have in front of you, they're a little blocked off there, but the approval of the waiver request will not be detrimental to public health, safety, and welfare, or injurious to property within reasonable proximity. In this case, the proposed development and the existing adjacent developments are proposed to have a minimum of 2 means of access and without the requested waiver of roadway connections. The subject property is proposed to have full access to both Main Street and south through Elk Lane. The second criteria is that the strict application of the applicable ordinance standard will result in practical difficulties in development. In this case, obviously, there were commitments made in the approval process, but also Faith Street does not have adjacent sidewalks, creating a unique constraint that residents of the neighborhood use the existing streets for pedestrian activities, including walking, jogging, bicycling, etc. If we connect through with sidewalks to the edge, and then there's nowhere for them to go, that does create an issue and a practical difficulty. And that these practical difficulties were not self-imposed is the third criteria. And obviously, in this case, we didn't have anything to do with the development of the community that stubs out of Faith Street, so not created by us. And then the fourth is that the waiver request is necessary to represent a minimal deviation from the explicit ordinance standards. We talked about this last time in particular, that by at least bringing the pavement up to the end of our property line and putting in the bollards, it's the least impactful, where it can be at some point in the future if another council decides the connections need to be or must be made pursuant to the ordinance, that could be done. And so we think this is a good compromise. Staff is on board with it, at least to the extent that they will not be unfavorable if we adhere to their conditions. And there were multiple conditions in the staff report. Sorry, these are potential bollards that could be at the end of the road. And staff's position is there were, I think, 4 or 5 recommended conditions in the staff report. We are willing to adhere to all of those. And so we would ask that the Plan Commission grant this waiver.
All right. Gabe, you have anything you want to add before?
Similar to the last petition, they had a few different parcels that they've done primary plats for. I am not supportive of this. I worded it that I would not be unfavorable at this meeting if the following 5 conditions were met which included the right-of-way dedication to the property line, road and sidewalk improvements, traffic control measures, where I mentioned the safe barricade or other means that restrict vehicular connectivity. Something that our engineer would be comfortable having in the right of way. We put something in the right of way that is, could pose a danger. We want to make sure the liability wise that we're accepting it to be put there. Advanced warning signs and a fire turnaround if the length of the road is greater than 150 feet. I would say if fire has fire access to the lot, that wouldn't be needed, but it is state fire code that if a dead end is over 150 feet, there needs to be some way for that fire vehicle to be able to get out of that dead end road. Without those conditions, I would be unfavorable of this waiver request.
Looking at that stub at 150 feet, is it? It doesn't look like it.
No, it's more of I'm not positive, but it's likely more of a general statement. We had that statement on the last parcel as well. Just if they were to create anything in a way that would create an issue for fire, we want to address that.
Right.
Mr. Nelson? Mr. Nelson, has this been discussed with the fire chief?
So I believe this is with the White River Fire Marshal on this property, and he's been involved in our technical review meetings, and he is aware of this.
And Mr. Tracy's approves of it?
I believe that this one is in White River's fire district, and it's my
okay.
that it does have the minimum required two egresses for fire. If you're over 50 lots, you need to have a second access, and they have that provided with Elk Lane to the south. The only one they're requesting to remove is Faith Street. This is on the western side of the property.
So Elk Lane goes through.
Correct. Elk Lane goes through, and Elk Lane was not restricted connectivity by council. The
Council's chopped up so much, I've gotten lost what's.
Yeah, the reason I think that they're likely requesting this is due to council's commitment on Faith, where it requested no vehicular connection.
Anyone else on the commission have any comments, questions?
Please explain the right of way dedication to me.
So right of way is, we have it throughout the city. It's not necessarily a road, but sometimes it is a road. Most people's sidewalks, strips with utilities, and roadways are in what we call the right of way. It is basically land that is dedicated to the city of Greenwood, or to it could be to the Department of Transportation or another municipality, and they have rights to use that land in certain ways. If the right of way is vacated, it would go back to whoever's requesting it or the previous property owner. But like on Main Street, if you are leaving a business, you step out onto the brick patio out here, that is a part of our right of way. So it can be for both pedestrian or vehicular access and connectivity. It can be also something that you have, cafe seating or something in as well, just depending on where you are. It's more of a general term. I don't know if legal or our city engineer has anything else to add to that. And I can look up the official definition if need be.
I have a question about the previous waiver that we approved for the other parcel Is this in the same vein that council wanted these conditions as part of this petition tonight?
You are correct. This was a part of, the broader, council commitment. So when it came to council for a zone map change, it was at that time that they placed, commitments on the 3 parcels that came for a zone map change. The petitioner received the zone map change with the commitments. Now they are applying for primary plats. They have broken those up into 3 separate primary plats. So that's why you saw one earlier, then they submitted for this parcel. Now you're seeing this one at this time. But yes, that went along with the council commitment. The council commitment stated no vehicular connection to Faith, Green Valley, or Lee Lane. Green Valley and Lee Lane are not on this parcel for the primary plat. That was your previous waiver that you received. The only street connectivity that had commitments on it from council is Faith, which is what they're here for this parcel.
Thank you.
Anyone else on the commission? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I move that the request of Apollo Developers LLC for a waiver of the requirements of the Unified Development Ordinance, Greenwood Municipal Code, Chapter 10, Article 25, Division 6, Subdivision Section 10-06-01, General Provisions and Design Principles A4C that specifies minor streets be designed to encourage connectivity with the existing street network, but discourage heavy use by free traffic, to allow no vehicular connection at Faith Street adjacent to the proposed development, because the subject property will have 2 means of access and the adjacent neighborhoods do not have sidewalks, and additional traffic from the proposed development to those neighborhoods would be detrimental to the safety of the neighborhoods and the pedestrian activities in those existing streets, be approved with the following conditions. Number 1, right-of-way dedication. The developer must provide right-of-way to the property line on Faith Street. Number 2, infrastructure improvements. The developer must install road and sidewalk improvements up to the property line. Number 3, traffic control measures. The developer must work with staff to provide a safe barricade or other means to restrict vehicular connectivity. Number 4, advanced warning signage. The developer must provide advanced warning signage for the dead-end road to ensure safety and reduce confusion for drivers. Number 5, fire turnaround. If the length of the road is greater than 150 feet, a temporary turnaround for fire shall be provided. And that the planning commission find that the criteria set forth by Greenwood Municipal Code 10, Section 10-04-03K for the approval of the waiver has been met for the reasons set forth in the attachment to the waiver request and as presented.
A motion by Mr. Lexi. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Price. Moving to a roll call vote. Price.
Aye.
Mr. Melbourne.
Aye.
Mr. Probst.
Aye.
Mr. Lexi.
Aye.
Ms. Stambaugh.
Aye.
Mr. St. John.
Nay.
Mr. Shell.
Nay.
I also am a nay. And I don't have the count. 6, 5. Five, 3. Motion carries 5-3. Next on the agenda is
And just while Shauna grabs Mr. Walker. I will read the definition for right of way just for our knowledge. A strip of land occupied or intended to be occupied by a street, pedestrian way, crosswalk, railroad, electric transmission line, oil and gas easement, pipeline, water main, sanitary storm main, special landscaping, or for other special uses. The term right of way for land planning purposes shall mean that the right of way established on the final plat be separate and distinct from other lots or parcels adjoining such right of way, not included in the dimensions of other lots or parcels. It goes on to talk more about right of way, but it's basically a way that you're platting it where it is not owned as another's personal private property, their lot. It's set aside for other special uses.
Thank you. All right, we're ready. Next item, PC 2024-001, crew car wash waiver request. Petitioner is Mike Timko.
Good evening. My name is Mike Timko. I work for Kimley Horn, civil engineer and project manager for this project. Our address is 500 East 96th Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. We're before you this evening to request a waiver to provide relief for the 10-foot planting strip that would be required at the building foundation for any building face that is facing a street. So we are requesting to be able to place those foundation plantings elsewhere on the site, given the unique nature of a car wash and having ingress and egress out of the building on the two sides of the building that face public right of way. So going through the criteria, we do not believe this will be detrimental to public safety, health, or welfare, given that not having landscape plantings along the foundation where cars coming in and out of the building will help provide easier means of egress and ingress and create a safer flow of traffic. Also, we, as mentioned previously, will be planting those plantings in other areas around the building and are also creating a strip of vegetation between the face of the building and the right of way. It's just outside the paving limits. Number two, the strict application of the ordinance creates a practical difficulty. Again, this goes back to the nature of a car wash being unique compared to other commercial developments, and the fact that it does have overhead doors on both sides of the building that vehicles are coming in and out of. We do not believe these practical difficulties were self-imposed, as this was the only way that the building orientation would work and still provide means of strong traffic circulation around the site and to the right of way. And then again, the last item here, we do not believe that the waiver, or we believe that the waiver request is necessary and is a minimal deviation. Again, with the intent that we are not just simply removing those plantings, but placing them elsewhere on the site and still creating good vegetation strips between the right of way and the building itself. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Mr. Nelson.
Staff does recommend approval of this. We feel that it is reasonable and makes sense to locate these plantings elsewhere. There's not a lot of space that's left on frontage when you take away the drive aisles and the garage doors.
If we didn't approve, would it block people's ability to go left or right out of the entrance or exit?
So if it was not in,
Like to see.
yeah, if it got denied, basically on the portions of the building that are fronting the right of way, minus the garage door, you need to have a 10-foot planting strip on either side. So it would, I think, kind of, I guess, funnel people out 10 feet until they can get around the landscaping, and then they would be able to make their traffic flow, traffic movement to make that turn. I think with that kind of being such a narrow strip, since most of it is used up by the garage door, I would be concerned about the just the lifespan of those plants and how they are able to be maintained there. I guess that's from staff. What I was seeing was their hardship. Mr. Timko, do you have anything to add?
No, I guess the only other thing I would mention is just that, to your point, Dave, this is only about a 40-foot wide building, so it's very narrow in nature to start with. Anybody that's familiar with visiting Crew Car Washes also would recognize that they do have employees that walk on the incoming side of the tunnel as well. So part of that pavement that's being provided there is also to provide them a safe space to be able to navigate and also keep their distance from incoming vehicles as well.
Is this one of the lots that's 3 side streets or no?
So it is a through lot, so we do have frontage on US 31 that has some additional landscaping requirements. And then there's also a internal road, Oak Lawn Avenue. The road doesn't exist yet, but when it is built, it will have a double frontage. And that is those are the narrow sides of the building. The longer side of the building that's facing south is landscaped as well as a good portion of the north side of the building, although they also do have their dumpster locations on the north side.
Anyone else have any questions? Mr. Shell's shaking his head. Anyone else in the room? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I motion to approve the request for a waiver of the landscape requirements regarding front yard landscaping along the foundation. I move that the request for the applicant Kimley Horn on behalf of Crew Car Wash for a waiver of the requirement of the Unified Development Ordinance, Greenwood Municipal Code Chapter 10, Section 10-03-06, landscaping and buffering G, foundation plantings, that specifies that commercial properties under 25,000 square feet shall have a minimum of 10 feet wide landscaping strip along the full length of the foundation facing the street. To permit relocation to plantings required to the other areas of the site because the building frontage facing the public streets is primarily comprised of overhead doors in the paved access area to the enter and exit of the building reduces available foundation planting area approved, and that the Plan Commission find the applicant has met the criteria set forth by Greenwood Municipal Code Section 10-04-03K for the waiver for the reasons set forth in its request for waiver and as presented.
I have a motion by Ms. Stambaugh. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Milborn. Moving to a roll call vote. Mr. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Walker?
Aye.
Mr. Milborn?
Aye.
Mr. Probst?
Aye.
Mr. Lexi?
Aye.
Ms. Stambaugh?
Aye.
Mr. St. John?
Aye.
Mr. Shell?
Aye.
And I am as aye as well. Motion carries 9-0. Thank you. Next up is PC 2024-046, the 1846 South US 31 zone map change. This is a public hearing on this item. Petitioner is Min Tran requesting a zone map change for approximately 0.89 acres. The current zoning district is RMH residential mobile home, and the proposed zoning district is CM commercial medium to continue the commercial nature of this property. I see the petitioners online. Are you able to do video to be able to be sworn in?
I tried to start a video, but it says some error, so I don't know what the problem is.
IT, are you able to help with this one as well?
I'm not sure. Did you follow the link or did you try to connect with just your phone?
I followed the link. Well, if you don't mind, I can just restart and join back in.
That's the only thing we can really try remotely.
Okay, let me try that then.
Thank you.
Mr. Tran, are you any luck with the video yet?
It still said the same error, so I don't know. Let me see.
There we go. We see
Okay.
you now. Thank you.
Uh,
As I said, this is a public hearing, so you will have 15 minutes to present. Is there anyone in the room wishing to speak to this item? Anyone online wishing to speak to this zone map change besides Mr. Tran?
I think that's his son. I think that's his son. As for the address.
Mr. Leo.
Go ahead. We're gonna have you go and be sworn in at this time.
Do you swear on penalty of perjury? Testimony to the truth, to the best of your knowledge.
Probably hard to hear you.
Say yes.
Sir,
yes.
for the record, can you please give us your name and address?
This is for main train, and the address is 1846 US Highway 31, South in Greenwood, Indiana 46131.
Could you spell your first name just for the record? Though I don't want to I want to make sure it's spelled right.
MINH for the first name, and then TRAN for the last name.
You said you're representing your father.
Yes, my father-in-law.
Okay, so can you give your name?
My name is Bao Nguyen, BAO for the first name, and then NGUYEN for the last name.
All right, go ahead and tell us about why you're here.
Yes, we would like to build a nail salon at the property, and well, I just find out that the zoning wasn't commercial, but when we bought the place, the previous owner saying that it was commercial already. So now I just find out it's not commercial yet. So that's why we want to build a nail shop over there, and I need to have the zone change.
Okay. There is no one else to speak, and you don't have anything else, sir. I can close the public meeting then. All right, public hearing is closed. Staff, do you have any?
So what's there right now, in that building? Do you know their
So the building right now is just like air conditioning place. Somebody renting it for air conditioning and heating company right now.
It's already been being utilized as commercial space.
Is that the one for winter's heating and cooling is?
It is, yes. Yep.
I don't think they're in there now. There's a for rent or for sale sign on the front, yeah.
How do we anticipate traffic flow to change, having a shop with people leaving and out?
I can probably answer that one. This is US 30 owners at that control road, and one of the conditions of the approval, I believe, from staff is to coordinate the access permit with the state of Indiana.
Staff, go ahead.
So both the 2007 and the 2024 comprehensive plans suggest commercial in this general area. So staff is recommending a favorable recommendation since the use would not be changing.
Mr. Nguyen, did you see the 4 conditions that staff was recommending?
The condition, I didn't hear that very well.
So there are 4 conditions they are suggesting it be attached if this is approved.
Okay.
The first is the development shall be in compliance with building design standards outlined in the Unified Development Ordinance. See attached Exhibit E. The second is any infrastructure improvements will be performed in accordance with the Technical Review Committee.
Okay.
Third, trails shall be designed and built in accordance with the Greenwood Future Trail Network map in the comprehensive plan. And fourth, coordinate the site access point with the Indiana Department of Transportation.
Yes.
So if this is approved, you would be fine with all 4 of those.
Yes.
And just to clarify, for the building design standards, that is for new development. If you were to, I believe it was the intent to remove the existing building and rebuild a new commercial building, or if you were to make substantial changes to the existing building, that would need to follow our design standards.
You're talking about number 1.
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else on the commission have anything? Any questions? Mr. Walker?
I was just gonna ask a question, what you said. So you're saying that if they don't change anything, they use it as is, there's those 4 conditions don't have to be met? Am I tracking?
Number 1.
Number 1.
I was expressing that condition number 1, it says the development shall be in compliance. That development would be new development. When it gets rezoned, we don't necessarily expect them to immediately get the building up into compliance. But I believe it was expressed during the pre-file that the intent was to demolish the old building and the new building would then need to follow the condition, or we're recommending this condition.
Which kind of lines up with number 2 then also. Mr. Melbourne?
I believe I saw a sign there with 1 point, there's only 750 square feet. My concern is there enough parking? The only thing I saw was the side. And maybe that's not in our.
Is that something we more maybe have to wait to see a site plan to kind of know if there's a.
Yeah, so a lot of that would come with the site plan development. We do have parking standards for our beauty and beauty care. I believe it is based on the number of stations that they would have. They do have some existing parking on site, but depending on how many people they have working there, how big the build out is, that would impact the parking. And that would, if they wanted to reduce the parking, they would have to come to you for a waiver from their parking requirements. But at this time, we haven't seen anything developed at that level.
If we change from RMH to CM, does that, can they choose not to do something to the land? I just worry with the C9 being across the street and with tons of mobile homes. I mean, I live right around there off of Forest Hill. So can anything go in there? Are they restricted from changing it to commercial? Just worries me. All that already was commercial.
So in the CM zone, there are a number of permitted principal uses. I can go through a few. can have personal care, beauty, which they're requesting, dry cleaning, tattoo, retail, garden center, beverage sales, neighborhood market, art gallery, all different types of assisted dwellings for either nursing or group. You can have different types. Lost my spot a little bit. You can have different types of multifamily. You can have an indoor shooting range. You can have community health, park, safety. You can have a library, public meeting, professional service, corporate office. You can have a couple different types of hotels. You can have different education schools. A lot of things like schools would not be likely that a school would seek out this site due to the size of the site. So a lot of these can be kind of ruled out due to the size. They're almost all of our medical and health ones are allowed. So dance studios, emergency services, dentists, optometrists, et cetera, urgent care, full service hospital. Again, a full service hospital likely is not going to develop on a lot this size. Massage therapist, gym, all of our restaurants, all of our bars or fast food, quick service, full service are allowed. Our different religious assemblies, social clubs, event centers, different types of daycare, cemetery, funeral home. The automotive services, the non-major, so a smaller one, would be permitted principle that you're not dealing with the engine. If you needed to do engine work, you need a special exception. Vehicle sales would need a special exception. There are vehicle sales with gasoline sales that would be allowed, motion picture, art studio, kennel, veterinary clinic. All of those are permitted principal uses in the CM zone, which the petitioner is requesting to go from the residential mobile home zone to the commercial zone, specifically the CM zone.
I don't imagine there's a big chance of NDOT changing site access, is there?
I don't think they'd give them additional site access.
Right, yeah, but I mean, we're not looking at where they're gonna say. Mainly because it's been there.
Restricting site access further if it's too intense of a use, like to a right in, right out only, because it kind of lines up with that cut through.
Anyone else? Mr. Shell, did you have anything online? I didn't. Okay.
Nothing.
If no one else has anything, I will entertain a motion.
I move that the amended petition for a zone map change to rezone approximately 0.89 acres of land located at 1846 South US 31 within the city of Greenwood, Johnson County, Indiana, from RMH residential mobile homes zone to CM commercial medium format zone as set forth therein, receive a favorable recommendation from this commission to the Greenwood Common Council, and that the same be certified to the Greenwood Common Council in the form presented with the four commitments previously recited by Mr. King.
A motion by Mr. Lexi, go a second. Second by Mr. Walker. Moving to a roll call vote, Mr. Price. Aye. Mr. Walker.
Aye.
Mr. Milborn.
Aye.
Mr. Probst.
Aye.
Mr. Lexi.
Aye.
Ms. Stambaugh.
Aye.
Mr. St. John.
Aye.
Mr. Shell.
Aye.
And I am an aye also. Motion carries 9-0. Thank you, Mr. Nguyen, for presenting that today.
Thank you very much.
All right. As previously mentioned by Mr. Nelson, the comprehensive plan will not be heard tonight. It was not ready. The amendment was not ready, rather, for us to review. That's going to be heard on October 28th. Last item on the agenda is the 2025 BZA and PC meeting schedule calendar.
Correct. For this year, we do have 2 combined BZA Plan Commission training sessions. Those would be shared sessions at 6 p.m. Aside from that, we've just adjusted when the agendas will be released. Currently, we release them on our busiest day where we have our technical review committee that can sometimes get done close to 3:30 or 4, and then we're rushing to get an agenda out. That's a self-imposed deadline. We are shifting that to Thursday.
Then there's only one Wednesday in 2025.
Correct, and that should be, there should be an asterisk by that, it's May 28th, and that is moved due to a holiday.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Walker. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Probst. Roll call vote, Mr. Price.
Aye.
Mr. Walker.
Aye.
Mr. Milborn.
Aye.
Mr. Probst.
Aye.
Mr. Lexi.
Aye.
Ms. Stambaugh.
Aye.
Mr. St. John.
Aye.
Mr. Shell.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Motion carries 9-0. Any new business from the floor? Seeing none, any announcements?
I will be absent at the November 13th meeting, and I'll be unavailable by either in person or by Zoom.
All right. Anyone else? Any announcements?
None from staff.
All right. One final motion.
Move to adjourn.
So moved. Bye, John.